Hey guys, Mark Parash with ProTech Dog Training. I thought maybe sitting in front of the fire would be a good concept to take a little fireside chat, so to speak. And a lot of the country is real cold right now. It's freezing out there. We're not so cold here in California as some of you folks are, and I know you guys are probably stuck in front of the fireplace yourself on this cold winter that we've got going on this year, so it's kind of cool. But I thought it'd be a good way to open a little conversation, have a little fireside chat. So I did, today I did a little video talking about variable reward, and I got into watching some videos and some other trainers that I follow on YouTube and some other concepts. And one gentleman was talking about, he had his seminar that he did, and he had somebody off the sidelines, and a lot of the people were professional trainers, and this dog had been working, and he noticed the dog went really flat and actually started to show a lot of stress when the gentleman stopped getting into his patterns of training and getting into his variable rewards that he was giving, and his reward intervals. You know, there's a timing involved when you give rewards, and the dogs are very, remember we talked about this, dogs are very cognizant of time, okay, and patterns. They catch up on it very well. So he was mentioning in this video how the dog ended up getting really stressed out because the owner went out of his thing when he started to talk or started to get into things, and you start to see this with Rocky. So I got really into the concept of it, and I started going, wait a minute. These are advanced concepts in training. When you start talking about dopamine, you start talking about variable rewards, and what this does to the dog's psyche in an everyday event. And you're building this over time. 6 months go by, a year and a half, 2 years go by, and what is that overall mental makeup of that dog? And keep in mind that I'm working dogs to be executive protection. I'm working dogs that I want strength out of, okay? So this is where we get into concepts of training like what Mike is putting forward. Mike is putting forward, what he's into is what's called free shaping, okay? You let the dog start to show you behaviors, and you start to click and reward for those behaviors that the dog gives you, and you start letting the dog push you, okay? And that's operancy. That's an operant behavior patterns, and free shaping is what they call it. And that's what Mike is advocating, and it's a little different than what you see in my videos. Now, Mike gave me a message back, a private message, and I really appreciate that. He's got a very healthy attitude because he's been there, done that, and he's a very strong person himself, and I'm not a threat. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people with trying to establish a board like what Mike's doing might be threatened by somebody coming up and showing up like I am, and he's not in the least, and it's really an admirable thing. It shows he's a strong leader, and that's very much the fact, and I really respect that and appreciate him for that. Instead of getting stifled, and instead of being defensive and getting upset about me showing up on his board, he's taking it in stride and realizing the board is more important as far as the overall things that we can give you folks that don't have a clue. We're out here to educate and to teach, and that's what I do when I do these videos and things. That's what I'm doing. It's what I thrive on. It's what I've been doing since I was 12 years old. Learning and getting into the concepts that I get into as a trainer, and then being able to give that information back out and be a teacher. That's what I love. This is what I do. This is why I do it, because of passion, you know. And Mike's aware of that, and he senses it, and he's not worried about it in the least, and I really respect the man for that. So, but just keep in mind, that's why I'm putting into the forum area, it's called Training Principles. That's why I'm dropping my videos in there, is because this is what training principles are all about. They might not be totally what Mike is putting forward to try to educate you guys, and you're doing your foundation and you're watching his videos, and that's not something you shouldn't be doing. You should be doing exactly what Mike is telling you to start and get your education going and start to understand concepts and training. But when I put something forward, that's all it is another concept, and you can learn and you can grow from that. It's not that I'm right, it's not that he's wrong, there's a big world in training concepts. And so nobody's really right, nobody's really wrong, and we all learn from each other, and that's really what's important to me. So I wanted to voice that and tell Mike that I really appreciate the man for what he's put together here, and it allows me to express myself and to get in these sort of things, and I hope to be able to bring you guys more. So keep it in mind, and I really respect and appreciate Mike being as strong as he is as a leadership figure as far as what he's putting together, and not be threatened and get defensive and get upset when somebody like me shows up on his board. And I appreciate that. So I thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and let you guys go. This is Mark Farash with Protect Dog Training and the Fireside Chats. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.